Hello, everyone. Welcome to this extra special bonus episode of Talk to Me, where I'm going to be talking to some of my kids for the first time on the podcast. They have never been on the podcast before, but we're so excited because today is release day of Any Day Emotions, my very first kids book. We're so excited to share it with your family. So I thought no better way to share this book with your family by sharing a little bit of my family with you, as well as the stories surrounding this new children's book. So I have with me my eldest daughter, my eldest child, Ella. It's good to have you.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
First time on my podcast.
First
How
time.
do you feel? Do you feel like you should have been on this podcast by now?
In some ways, maybe. In other ways, I think it's fun for my first time to be focused on a children's book, considering I am still a child.
You are. I mean, you're 15, and I know that this isn't exactly like target audience for 15-year-olds. I would say it's, age 2 to 10
Mm-hmm.
target audience because it's a picture book. But this book was such a special book to write for me, my first ever children's book. And before we kind of get into some of the backstory of it, I would just love to hear your perspective. As a 15-year-old, you've looked through this book, you've read through it. What are your thoughts? What do you like about it? What are some unique, special things about it?
Well, first, I love the rhyming and how the pages, they all have rhythms, the words, they're easy to remember.
Yeah.
And I love a book that you can read and then end up just remembering certain lines and reciting them later. And I love that you incorporated in the illustrations, the characters in the book are me and my brothers,
Yeah.
and you and dad, our whole family.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to read the book and see us in it.
Yeah, I love that too. That was such a special part of this book. The illustrator Natalie Peterson. If you guys know Andrew Peterson, if you know anything about the Wingfeather Saga, he's the author of the Wingfeather Saga.
Mhm.
And Natalie would be his daughter-in-law. And she's worked with him on some special projects, and she is just phenomenal. Like her illustrations are so good. Let me just show you one of these pages here. This is one of the pages where all the kids are on the spread, and you can see Ella, Eli, Ezzy, and Ethan. And I sent Natalie pictures from our house, our yard, and Ezzy even drew some pictures of what he thought it would be really cool to see in the book, and she incorporated our vision so beautifully. It's one of the most beautifully illustrated
Mhm.
children's books that I have ever seen.
For sure.
I
And I
love it.
love it.
She did such a good job. And what do you have a favorite spread?
Um, I love looking at this final one when it shows me and my siblings. We're swimming in the pool,
Which we do
and which
often.
we do a lot, and just I feel it really fits.
I'm going to read this line. Actually, why don't you read this? Read
Sure.
read the words on this page.
Today I'm feeling hopeful, like the rainbow after the storm. It glows and shines with its colors so bright and reminds us there's something more. When the story seems to be over and it feels like we've come to an end, I'll always remember the promises of God and have hope in all that He's said.
I love that. I love that it ends on hope, the
Mm-hmm.
emotion of feeling hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you a picture of that spread. Here's our family, our pool, the boys hanging out. It just captures, our home. And each of these emotions, every single one of them is tied to something in nature. Here's one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite
Yeah.
spreads. This one is the volcano. And what I love about this is that it gives you a picture attached to something in nature. It's an analogy. So
Mm-hmm.
kids can remember, I'm feeling hopeful today, like the rainbow after the storm, when the storm and you feel like life is so hard, and then there's a rainbow,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or I'm feeling angry, like the volcano bubbling inside. Let me read this page. Today I'm feeling angry, like a volcano bubbling inside. It builds until it can't build anymore and then pushes its way to the sky. I can try to stuff it all down and pretend it's not really there, But the best way to deal with the anger inside is to find a loved one and share. And it's a beautiful picture.
Mm.
First of all, I love how she made it look like it was actually glowing. But it's a beautiful picture of one of my boys. It's Ez in this one. And he's having an explosion in one picture. The volcano has just erupted. And then in the other picture, he's reaching his hand to his big sis. And there's a lava river in between them. And she's about to grab his hand and help him through it, help him with his anger. The best way is to find a loved one and share. And honestly, to me, like this is something adults need to remember. Anger is what we say in counseling, a secondary emotion.
Hmm.
There's always something underneath it that's a little bit more vulnerable. Like it's harder to say, I feel hurt. I feel overwhelmed. I feel embarrassed. And all of those things start to bubble up and bubble up and bubble up. And then boom, the whole thing explodes.
Hmm.
And I can try to stuff it all down and pretend it's not really there, which a lot of people do.
Hmm.
Are you a stuffer or a sharer? Tell us a little bit about your personal emotional bent.
I think I tend to be one who has the wrong assumption that if I share too much, I'm burdening others with my feelings and my emotions. And so I try to deal with them myself.
Hmm.
So, as a sharer or a stuffer, I'd probably be considered one that stuffs their emotions instead of coming to share them.
The firstborn syndrome, oftentimes I talk about that in soul care of, firstborns have a tendency
Hmm.
to care about what other people are thinking and feeling, what other people need, and sometimes at the expense of their own needs and feelings. So what have you learned along the way? Like what have you learned to do with that tendency?
Well, instead of trying to deal with it myself, and I've realized that hurts me more. And I've realized that the people around me, like you and dad, and other close people in my life, they want to be in those emotions with me and they want to help me work through them instead of me suffering alone.
Yeah.
So I've learned to bring it to those who are close to me and who listen, and then take it to the Lord because He is the only one who can help you through anything. And whether I'm feeling overwhelmed, joyful, hopeful, angry, bringing it to the Lord really has helped me a
Yeah.
lot.
And we've had a lot of emotions this past year, haven't we?
We have had a lot of emotions.
So it's just beautiful that God allowed for this book to come in the right time, in the right way, in the right season. Like
Mhm.
even that is part of his plan,
It really is. And watching you write this book, and especially in the season of life that we're in, as you said, we're all dealing with a lot of emotions. And I feel putting it in a simple way for kids to understand
Yeah.
has helped our younger, like the younger kids in our family, but also helped the older kids and me just be able to see that in a simple way
Yeah.
where it's easy to understand and easy to remember and
Yeah.
just lays it out really well.
I think sometimes we do overcomplicate it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
For sure.
And this book focuses on 13 different emotions. Like I said, each one is tied to something in nature. I think the most challenging part of writing this book was the fact that I only got 900 words. A typical trade book is a typical trade book is 50,000 to
Mm.
70,000 words. So that's a lot of words.
That's a lot more than this kid's book.
So 900 words, because you don't want a kid's book to be too long, especially when it's a picture book. Like I
Hmm.
know as a parent, when it's the end of the night and Ethan's like, Mommy, can you read me this 500-page book? I'm like, no, I cannot. I don't have it in me. I am so tired. But there's some books that are just easy to read. They're quick, they're short, but they're deep and meaningful. And the other challenging thing, so it was challenging to get 900 words, and you want them, each word matters when you only get
Hmm.
900 words.
For sure.
And then I wanted it to rhyme. I wanted there to be a cadence and a flow because I just think back to all the books we read to you guys when you were babies and you were little, and we're still reading these books to Ethan, and even Ez loves listening to books. Even Eli sometimes will jump in and be like, "Oh, they're reading books. I'm going to plop down on the couch with them." And he's 13. He just loves to listen and be a part of it. You've been reading books to Ethan because you guys are 10
Hmm.
years apart.
Yeah.
And I just love books that are easy to remember, They
Mm-hmm.
have this cadence. It flows. I still remember books from when you were little that you would
Mm-hmm.
memorize.
Oh yeah.
They were so easy to memorize because you read them over and over. It was almost like a song, like your brain stores it kind of like a song. Da 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 da.
Exactly.
And then it sticks with you. And I really wanted this book to be one that sticks with you.
Mm.
Today I'm feeling angry, like a volcano bubbling with it. And for kids to be able to remember that. Do you remember any books that we read to you when you were little? Like I'm sure you still, I mean, you memorized some of these books. Like you were two. You couldn't even read yet, but you would sit and hold the book and like
Like
go
look
through
through
it
it. Oh,
as
I
if
remember.
you were reading it, but we knew you couldn't read. Do you remember any of them?
One of them was Chugga Chugga Choo Choo and
Sun's up, morning's
Morning's
here,
Here,
up
Up
and
and
at
Adam
'em, engineer.
Engineer.
Exactly. See, like
We
like
still
you're
remember.
13 years later, it's still in her brain. And there's just some books like that that you will always remember. Little Blue Truck
Came
went down
down
the
the road.
road
Beep said blue
to
to
the
a
little
big
green
green
toad.
toad.
Yeah, exactly. Like it
It
just in your
sticks.
head, it sticks, it stays with you. And I really wanted Any Day Emotions to be one of those books that stays with you, that reminds you that God cares about your sunny day, rainy day,
And
and every
every
day
day
in
in between.
between. So we're so excited to share this book with your family. I really hope that you pick up a copy today for someone you know, maybe a kid in your family,
Mm.
maybe somebody outside of your family. This will make really good Christmas gifts and birthday gifts and baby shower gifts. My dream would be for every home to have a copy of this book, that it becomes one of those classics that people pick up. And guess what? It's not awkward to talk about emotions.
No, it's
And
not.
if we start talking about our emotions at a young age, your kids start picking up that language. The point of this book is that they are able to identify, oh, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what it feels like, and this is what I should do with this feeling, and this is what I shouldn't do. I could stuff it and pretend it's not really there, but the best way to deal with the anger inside is to find a loved one and share. Like, this is what I could do, but this is what I should do instead. This is what's better for me. The other thing that's unique about this book is that I wrote a parent's guide to helping your kids with their emotions. And it comes with the book. So if you go to deborahfileta.com/anydayemotions, you'll be able to download for free the parent's guide, print it out. It has activities to do with your kids to help them talk through emotions on a deeper level, has questions that you can ask your kids, to start bringing forth some of those conversations that might not feel natural to some people. I think it's natural in our family to talk about feelings. Would you say that's
It
accurate?
definitely has been. And it's been really cool to see, like from me to Ethan, who's 4 years old, all of us expressing our emotions. And I love that that's an important part of our family. Like we'll sit around at dinner and everyone will share an emotion they felt in the day, whether it was good or bad, and we'll work through it. And that's been really beautiful.
Yeah, and even us sharing our emotions with
Mm-hmm.
you, feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, not dumping on you guys, because I do
No.
think it's important. Your kids aren't your therapists, it's not, you don't want to dump on your kids, but just to model to them, hey, I have feelings. I'm
Mm-hmm.
human. Feelings are good. Feelings are a signal.
Mm-hmm.
God's way of saying, pay attention, respond to this feeling. You have healthy options and unhealthy options. The signal is there, but you get to determine how you respond to the signal. So it's funny because some of the people that endorse this book, I think Levi Lesko was like, listen, adults are going to even need this book
Mm-hmm.
because there are adults out there that don't know how to name, identify what they're feeling, and then what to do with that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 13 different emotions, difficult emotions. I don't like to say bad emotions. Some people are like, oh, it's a
No.
bad emotion, like anxiety or overwhelm or depression, or, there's no such thing as a bad feeling.
No.
Feelings are just a signal,
Mm-hmm.
but how you respond to that signal matters. I'm looking through this book, and I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram yet, but when I did a little reading of the acknowledgments, I sat the kids down for the first time when we got the first copy of the book, and I read them the acknowledgments to the four loves that call me mom, Ella, Eli, Ezzy, and Ethan. This book wouldn't be what it is without each of you being who you are. Thank you for always trusting me with your feelings. I promise I will always be here to process with you anything, anytime, anywhere. I love you so much. And do you remember, of course you remember, when I read that acknowledgments to you guys,
Hmm.
what happened?
Ethan, our 4-year-old, was sitting right next to mom, and he covered his face and said that he was feeling emotional and
He
this
started like holding
he
his
started
eyes.
tearing up, holding his eyes. This dedication really touched his heart, and
It
that
was
was
so
so sweet.
adorable and I would say unexpected. Like I didn't
Mhm.
expect him to have an emotional response that way, but he was like moved
Yeah.
and he showed it, you know. He's like, I'm getting emotional, you know. So it was just special. And the other thing that I think is really special is I think oftentimes we're a family of one girl, three boys, the
Hmm.
kids, and sometimes people think that girls are emotional and boys are not.
I would do not disagree, or I don't agree with that at all because my brothers have a lot of emotions, both.
I think they show more emotions than you do, for
I don't agree
sure.
with that.
Like in our family, it's the
Yeah.
boys
Hmm.
that are so expressive with their emotion. Like Ella said earlier, her tendency is not to be expressive. She has to work on being more
Hmm.
expressive, but they are just like left and right, emotions everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's a matter of, okay, what do you do with that feeling? You can feel
Hmm.
it. It's good to feel it. You should feel it. But then how do you respond to that emotion in a healthy way? So each page, brings you through different feelings. And I tried to match the different emotions with different children, different kids
Hmm.
that maybe have a tendency
For
to
sure.
feel that. For example, today I'm feeling worry is
Just
you.
me.
You were probably the child in the family that had the most worry, even as a little girl.
Yeah. And I would probably say I still do even now.
Yeah,
I feel I've always tend to struggle with anxiety and still do, and it looked different when I was younger than how it does now,
definitely.
like a lot.
Like
But
things you were scared of then are
are
almost
not.
laughable.
Yeah, like I wish I could be afraid of just those things now.
Like bugs and Pharaoh.
Pharaoh in the children's Bible used to terrify me, my word.
Story ever. The children's Bible. Like we had to stop reading the children's Bible when you were young because the picture of Pharaoh was
Terrified me.
so terrifying.
I literally had nightmares and night terrors, you could even call them,
I know.
for quite a long time because of that.
Seriously. But it just goes to show you that tendency had been there since you were a little girl. Like
Yeah.
we have these tendencies. I think sometimes genetically, neurochemically,
Hmm.
then you pair that with life experiences, things that happen, like maybe a dog was really rambunctious around you and that scared you, or maybe there was a bug in your room that one night and then it really scared you. And it's
Hmm.
like all these little things piled on top of each other when you have a tendency. And yeah, you had night terrors about Pharaoh. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at her. I'm
I'm
laughing
laughing
with
with her
her.
because I'm laughing too. So,
But compared to today, much more significant worry, but
mm,
still worry that needs to be checked.
yeah.
Worry that needs to be like, okay, I'm feeling worry. There's a signal. What do I do with that? Today I'm feeling worry, like an earthquake trembling the ground. My mind quakes, my belly shakes, and the anxious thoughts whirl round. I can give in to its scary rumblings and tremble all night and day, or I can give my worries to the God who promises to steady my heart when I pray. And I love this picture. I love this picture because it actually reminds me of Ella today, just spending time with the Lord. She's so intentional about her time with God and steadying her heart at the end of the night. You said you were journaling last night for an hour. I mean, come on, people, an hour. John's like, I don't know if I've ever journaled that much in my whole life.
Uh,
But just like your intentionality of taking those feelings and processing them in healthy ways, doing something with
mm,
them.
yeah.
I love that. I love that about you. I'm so proud of you and how you've navigated those underlying tendencies because that tendency, I mean, I had that as a kid too. Like The reason I wasn't panicking when you were like waking up 10 times a night because of Pharaoh, which is like, what's going on with this child, is because I had those tendencies as a kid
Mm,
too. I think it's almost the gift of sensitivity, like
mm.
sensing, maybe over sensing.
Sometimes, yes.
But that's exactly what worry is. It's like this
Yeah.
over sensing, and it's like, what do we do with it? What's the gift here? What do I do with this? How do I respond to this in a healthy way? So, my prayer and hope for your family is that this book, Any Day Emotions, would help you start to have these really important conversations with your kids, no matter what age or stage, that the rhyming and the cadence and the photos, the pictures inside, and how they are each attached to something in nature would help those things stay in the hearts and minds of your child, that they
Mm.
would know this is what I'm feeling, this is what it's like, and this is what I should do with it. So super excited to get this book out to you and your family. Any Day Emotions is in stores and online everywhere today, book release day. You can find it anywhere you get your books, or you can find more information at deborahfileta.com/any day emotions. Make sure to get your parents' guide to helping your kids with their feelings, and let us know how this book is impacting your family. I would love to hear from you, see pictures of your kids reading it, and just hear all the stories of what God is going to do. So, thank you, Ella, for joining me for this episode and for sharing your heart
Mm.
and for being an incredible daughter, an incredible example to so many, incredible example to your brothers. I'm excited to share a little bit of our family with everyone else out there.
Yes, and thank you for having me and for taking the time to write this book because this is going to be such an important resource and help to families, and also for showing us as our mom how to feel and process our emotions. And you've done such a good job of showing me that, and I've learned a lot from watching you, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Ella. Love you.
Love you too.
Take care, everybody. It was good to see you all. Any Day Emotions out today.